Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin and you are watching That Christian Vlogger. I'm actually on a family vacation right now. Emily's over there on the couch and I am finishing the very last little bit of the edit for this video. But I wanted to introduce to you guys the person that I'm interviewing today. As you know, I was in Texas just last weekend speaking for a conference on entrepreneurship and Christian business building and stuff like that. And I got to hang out with my good friend Jeff, who has a very interesting story that I wanted to share with you guys. I've known Jeff for a number of years, but Jeff was raised as a Christian and then ended up becoming an atheist, and then later on got converted and started doing ministry. That's actually where I got to meet him. And then what's really interesting is that God actually called him out of ministry and into the business world. And it's a very interesting concept, a very interesting way to interpret the way that God wants to work in and through your life. And so I figured that his story would probably be a blessing to some of you guys out there. So hopefully you guys enjoy my interview with Jeff.
Hey guys, Jeff from Southern California. Ended up, starting businesses my whole life. Wasn't really into school, but was born technically, quote unquote, on the other side of the tracks. For those of you that are familiar with Southern California, technically it's San Bernardino. Second bankrupt city in the world, more gangs per capita, homeless, just crazy.
Not so good.
Not so good. But that was the city I was born in. My parents, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. They've lived there over 40 years. We never went hungry, but we didn't have a lot of stuff or money or anything like that. So there was always a great need for me to want to start businesses, which got me excited about entrepreneurship at an early age. And so
did you do like the whole selling lemonade on the street kind of thing?
I never sold lemonade, but I did do. I remember spray painting a sign and doing a car wash when I was like 5 years old, trying to make money.
Trying to hustle.
We couldn't get an allowance, man. So yeah.
So let me ask you this, because you're one of the you and I actually got to serve in ministry together. Yeah. We got to serve in evangelism and stuff like that. So you're definitely someone that I believe is following God's path through your life. But it wasn't always clear like that. I'm sure you kind of wandered a little bit. So what was it like for you growing up in high school as you're trying to figure out why you are here? Like, what's the purpose of life? Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, well, I've always had a strong pursuit of the truth. Mm-hmm. I always wanted the truth no matter what. That led me on a long, crazy journey of...
And you don't mean like truth as in Jesus, like at least at that time. That's not how you interpreted it at that time. You
not at all.
Whatever was true.
Whatever was truth. I was raised in a Christian home, went to a Christian school, and to me there seemed to be a lot of inconsistencies. And so I started looking into as many different denominations as possible, and then I started looking into as many religions as possible, and that eventually... Buddhism, Islam, whatever it was. I just wanted to find out what was consistent and what was true. That's all I wanted to know, and eventually got frustrated and just said, okay, I'm going to be an atheist.
Done.
Until whatever that thing that is truth is revealed to me. And but that led me down a slippery slope, man, of really feeling depressed, discouraged, and to attempted suicide.
Oh.
Yeah, when I was in junior high, attempted suicide.
How old were you at the time?
Maybe 13, 14 years old.
Dude, you're going through some serious stuff.
You're
searching for at 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, that started early.
Okay.
Like 4th, 5th grade.
Wow.
I wasn't that. Yeah, I was a passionate kid from an early age, man.
Okay. You weren't trying to just play games. You really wanted to know.
Yep.
Okay.
And so So anyway, but fast forward, my parents ended up sending me out to a group home. It was that or juvenile hall. And went to this group home, and I remember a friend asked me, he's like, come to this Bible study. Okay. I said, not interested. I don't believe in that thing. He said, why don't you believe in the Bible? And I remember thinking in my head, I don't really know why I don't believe in the Bible.
But I just don't.
But I just don't. And I remember telling him, listen, you go to your Bible study and we'll talk about it afterwards. And we never had that conversation, but it planted this seed of doubt in my head as to, I'd rejected God, religion, and all those kind of things, but I never really had read the Bible for myself. And ended up reading it, loving it. Like I knew there was something profound about the words in this book. A lot of the stories that my parents had shared with me early on started coming to life. And and then somebody shared with me a book by Max Lucado. Called He Chose Nails. Okay. And it was about the sacrifice of Jesus, man. And I remember, being depressed, having attempted suicide, and depression is this thick cloud that you can't really penetrate, and you feel like you don't know where to turn. And I remember just seeing the sacrifice of Jesus, and it just literally broke my heart, man. Wow. And I remember feeling the pain of the depression and the joy of grace, hope, and mercy that. I couldn't go back on it. So I wanted to share that with the world.
Well, hold on. I want to put a pause on it. Because it's really surreal that you're saying these kinds of things. Because, we've all grown up hearing that story all the time. But, dude, look at your beard. It's not even white yet. Like, what's the story? I mean, like, it's really kind of weird to hear people our age talking about that. But like, this is real. This is not some script that you're just reading off of.
No, it was very real to me. And so anyway, I found peace in Jesus and found peace in that experience. And so it really rocked my world, and it sent me on this pursuit to try to share that grace, hope, and peace with as many people as possible. And it was through kind of evangelism. I've always kind of been a sales guy. I'd always been trying to come up with creative things to try to reach as many people as possible.
Okay.
And then they're like, hey, there's this thing called evangelism, and I think that's how we got connected, working out. And so I said, man, I want as many people to know about the hope of Jesus as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what got me excited about connecting the two. And because I knew there was a ton of people out there who were depressed, who were committing suicide every single day. And I said, man, I would
reach those people.
I would be remiss. You know, one of the quotes that always sticks out to me is, nobody has the right to hear the gospel twice when there are those in the world that have never heard it once.
Wow.
So it was...
That's strong.
Yeah.
That's good. That's some good stuff.
And so I know there are people out there that haven't heard the gospel, and it's just so passionately wanted people to just feel the hope that I received, man.
Amen. That's what's up. Okay, so you and I met in California a number of years ago. We were doing evangelism. Next thing I know, like you've kind of, from my perception, it's almost as if you like completely did a 180, and you're not even doing like the evangelism thing. Now you're building businesses. Now you're doing something that seems almost counterintuitive. You know, we hear about God calling businessmen to quit their job and enter the ministry, but I almost get the perception that God almost did the exact opposite with you, where he said, okay, you're over here preaching every weekend in church, but now I want you to build a business. Now help me understand why that. You've talked about, we serve a creative God, that we were created to create. We've talked about these things together, but how does that all tie in?
Well, for me, I really needed the biblical foundation that I received early on, but I wasn't a school guy. I just didn't like school. I didn't like, I wasn't planning on going off to college when I was in high school. It was either, go be a photographer on the surfing circuits all over the world.
You used to have like the long logs, just like the Bieber do.
Before Bieber. It was before Bieber.
But I met you when Bieber was big, so that's how everyone tied it in.
I put Bieber on the map.
There you go.
So I had the long locks, man, and so but I've always been a starter. I've always started things. Even when we were working together, remember we started TruthLink?
Yeah, that's right. And there's the links always in the description for Bible studies. We've been doing that. Yeah,
TruthLink is something that me and Bobby started, and we got a whole crew. And so I've always really enjoyed starting things and also sharing the gospel. And one of the things that really impacted me, one thing that frustrated me was going to a church. We do evangelism, we baptize people, but I'd be afraid to call the church back and see, are those people still there? And so I wanted to find something sustainable that would help the community, that would also find a way to engage in the community on a long, consistent basis. And I worked at a thrift shop right on the other side of the freeway from where I was from, in Loma Linda. Okay. And I saw the impact that thrift shop had on my community in San Bernardino. Hundreds of people would come there a day. They were making money, and this was a church group that was doing it. And
kind of similar to how Salvation Army first started.
Yeah, exactly. And so meeting the felt needs in the community, that was something that was really exciting to me. And I saw the impact that they had. I mean, they had 150 people coming through that thrift shop a day. Wow. And when I would do an evangelistic meeting, like, I was pulling teeth to get 150 people to come out, and people were coming consistently. So I liked that. So I saw what Enterprise was able to do for a community, and I said, that's it. That's what I want to do, to help reach the world, raise the tide across the board.
So where did that take you? That desire to actually make a physical impact on the community.
Yeah.
Where did that lead you to?
It actually led me to seminary. So I went, not by choice,
Going left, right. And maybe you relate to this. Maybe you feel like God is tugging you in all directions, and it doesn't quite all make sense, but it starts to make sense for you.
It starts to, the dust starts to settle. And we went out there, and my wife and I actually ended up starting a thrift shop. Okay. While in seminary.
You saw something, you were inspired by it, so hey, why not go and do it?
Yep. And so after opening up the thrift shop, I saw the impact, loved it, built this community up, and my business partner had a brain aneurysm. Ooh. Couldn't continue it, and I was really bummed. I was like, man, I started this thing while I was in school. I was that guy, who wasn't paying attention in class, running this business, and I was actually a little embarrassed. Like, this thing had failed, at least publicly. It looked like it failed. We had to close for a few months. Started gaining a lot of weight, needed to do something different. Like I wasn't going back to California.
Not much surfing in Michigan.
Not much. Or if there is, it's too cold. But fast forward a couple of months, and one of my buddies taught me this thing called a burpee.
Hey,
I'm sure you've heard of the burpee.
I'm familiar.
It's how the fitness community has turned falling down and getting back up into a workout. So
there's a spiritual lesson in that.
There has to be.
There is.
And so he taught me a burpee, man, and it was a slippery slope into the fitness community. And so we went from that to starting a fitness center, starting a CrossFit gym. And there was no gym in like 10 miles in that area. And I said, as long as we could break even, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And we ended up the first day broke even. I was like, man, they were onto something.
There
we
you
had a
go.
place to work
There
out,
you
a
go.
community that was growing. And that place literally became our church. We had 150 people coming out every day for an hour at a time. And I saw, to me, it was a greater impact they were making in people's health. People wanted to be better at life. And I loved it. And so my passion for ministry in the traditional sense of like preaching, wearing the suit, was waning, to be honest. Like I saw that, I felt like they weren't really scratching where people were itching.
Yeah.
And to me, I saw the impact that this gym had, man. And so my wife and I partnered together, started this thing, and it was powerful. So that kind of led me on this entrepreneurial journey to think like, man, there are other people out there that have brilliant ideas that can make an impact on the community and change the world.
You're about to get to Fruition, which is the reason why we're here. But before that, share with me at least one cool story about how someone's life was impacted. I mean, other than, you taught someone how to do a burpee or taught someone how to do a clean and jerk, whatever the case is. But I mean, from what you share with me, lives are being changed from owning a gym.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I mean, the thing about a gym is when you're working out, if you're consistent, and if you're paying a lot of money like you were for our gym, you want to be consistent.
Yeah.
And so the people that were coming, we see them every single day, and we knew when they were struggling. We knew when they were going through something in their relationship. And I'll never forget, like, sitting on the couch and members, big dudes that are bigger than me, who can lift more than me, just breaking down and crying and sharing with me, opening up their heart, and being in the position of a coach would make them receptive to that. And so it was powerful to see like lives change, people who've been with us for over 4 or 5 years, who just love being a part of community, that they've literally called this their home.
Yeah, that is so powerful. We talk a lot about church, about the importance of like not just containing God in a box on the weekend at church, but actually like physically taking that out to the people that you interact with. We talk a lot about how it's possible to share your faith even while you're at work and stuff like that. But here we actually get to see a tangible example of that.
Tangible, man.
It's powerful.
It was. And so through the midst of that, is kind of where Fruition was born. And while I was in seminary, I had another seminary friend of mine who was interested in starting a company. He saw that I'd opened up the thrift shop, I had the gym. He says, man, will you help me start a wedding event company? I said, sure. Within a few hours, we had his business up online. By the end of the week, he was getting calls for his business. And by the end of the month, he was making money. Before he had invested any money in a logo, invested any money in equipment, didn't even know how to run DJ or any lights like that, and was already on his way to success. And to me, that was really exciting to see something that went from an idea in his mind to becoming an actual reality. And I sensed this strong joy, and he came back to me later. So check this out. He went from starting this company in Southwest Michigan to growing a 6-figure business, working 4 months out of the year, 2 days a week, and was a part of people's most special day of their life. Was a part of their wedding. He was officiating weddings, was a part of this thing. And he came back to me, he said, Jeff, I'd love to give you a percentage of my business. And I was like, nah, man, you keep your money. Starting a business is hard, running a business is hard, costs a lot. I will find more joy in you being successful than in any money you can give me. And I didn't know how much he was making at the time.
Well, let me take that back, man. Hey, let me get it
But I genuinely loved the process of seeing something and helping him through the journey that was amazing to me. And the word fruition is the word that came to mind. And I Googled it.
Bring something into fruition.
Yeah, I Googled it, and it means to bring something to completion. And the secondary word, the meaning was something I was intrigued by, and it literally means a sense of enjoyment.
Hey.
And I was fascinated by that. Dig down a little deeper into the other crazy part of the words, and it literally means like to enjoy something. And so there's something to the creative process of when you're working on something, you're brainstorming, you have a team of people together that are literally able to take a thought, bro. Take an immaterial thought and make that thing a reality. Like this started as a thought in somebody's brain.
Yeah, yeah.
And that thought, with a team of people surrounded, was able to make an iPhone.
Totally.
And to me, that is such a fascinating process. No matter what you see in the world, whether it's a house, a computer, a song, a vlog, like all of that started as an idea in somebody's brain.
Yeah.
And I wanted to help other people make that a reality, man. And I think it's something that God wants for all of us. It takes me back to the creation story.
Yeah.
I think of like the Godhead, sitting up there thinking like, hey, I got an idea. Let's take this world that is without form and void and speak everything into existence. Spoke it all into existence. And on the sixth day, he said, I got another idea. Let's make mankind in our image.
Yeah.
Came down and like an entrepreneur does, pulls the resources that he has at his disposal and fashions mankind into his image and literally breathed his life into this being, and it became a living being. And what I love about it is, so I could, if I was smart enough and if I had a team strong enough and with enough money and resources, I could make an iPhone. I could. Probably can't or won't, but I probably could. Now the crazy thing about this is the team at Apple can't make an iPhone that has the ability to create more iPhones. And I think that's something significant and powerful that God has given to each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Is the ability to create
things.
To create things,
Yeah.
man. And everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a writer, whether you're doing songs, whether you're working something, you're creating, and that's something that nobody else has the power to do.
No, and this is what a lot of people say is intended by created in God's image.
Yeah.
The whole male and female part, the reason why that works so well together is because male and female together have the ability to create life. So being creative is part of what it means to actually be human, is what it actually means to be created in God's image.
Exactly.
And that's probably why we find so much joy, so much fulfillment when we create something. Remember when you were a kid, you make, I don't know, for me it was Legos. I built a little Lego thing, bring it to my parents. Yeah. Look what I made.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs. I was rocking Lincoln Logs and Play-Doh.
That's why you got the beard.
Exactly. That's where it all started.
Okay, so I have a question because you've had a lot of experience with that, and like the whole entrepreneurial part, me creating this channel is actually something that's relatively new for me, and so it's really scary, especially if you don't know what to do, you don't got the money, you don't got the expertise, and let's say that there's someone out there that has a passion for doing something, they want to create something, but they don't know quite what to do. They feel too young, they feel inexperienced, they don't have the mentors, they don't have the money. Like, where do they start?
Well, it all starts with an idea. And if you have an idea, first thing I always tell people, it starts with a champion. Like, you have to be somebody who's willing to take that idea as far as it goes. Like, an idea will not become a reality without you. Yeah. Like, nobody's gonna make an idea a reality for you. It just doesn't happen. But like, I remember when I was in school, man, it was always, people always said, well, I'm not going to start a business unless I have money. Yeah. Money is never the option. Have a great idea, push it forward, and money will follow. I always tell people entrepreneurship is solving a problem. And there are plenty of problems around. Look around you. And being successful in entrepreneurship is finding a problem with a lot of people who want that problem solved. Yeah. And it's not about chasing the money, but guess what? If you create a solution to their problem, people will pay you for that solution. So it doesn't matter what it is. If you're fixing up sneakers, if you're fixing people's websites, if you're doing social media marketing for people, there are a lot of problems all around you that people are willing to pay for. Yeah, and this actually ties into, we've talked about this on the channel before, about how to help discover your calling in life, your purpose in life. One of the things that we've talked about before is how find what is that thing that's inside of you, the biggest frustration in the world, the biggest problem that you see in the world, and you have a burden for that, then go and solve that. Like, that's likely where God has called you to be. Yep, exactly. And so one of the things I always tell, especially young people, I remember when I was a kid, starting t-shirt companies and skimboard companies and different things like that, is just do it. Do it, find people who are excited about it, and explore it early on. Yeah. Like, do not live with regret. High school's not too early. No. Like, junior high isn't too early. Yeah. There are plenty of opportunities available, and start as early as you can, because I always tell people, once you get into college, you get into this zombie mode, where you're locked into a career path. You're taking 5 or 6 classes at a time. You're accumulating debt. Hopefully not. And you have the pressure of your parents and different things like that around you that you're just in zombie mode. Like, you can't, it's hard. You're not gonna, you say, oh, I'm gonna wait till college. No. Or I'm gonna wait till after college. No, because now you got this debt, now you got to pay it off.
But this isn't to say that if any of you guys are in the college or post-college mode, like it's still not too late. Like it was for me, it was after college. I was done with college for like 5 years, and now I'm starting my thing. So I wish I had started earlier for sure.
Absolutely. So start early, but they always say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Second best
today.
Right now.
Let's go.
So start right now. Whatever idea you have, go out, make it happen. Explore, fail forward. Learn from your successes, and
That's awesome. I think that's super well put. So that's the challenge for you guys today. Go and just do it. Like find the area that you have you notice the problems in the world. That's where God is calling you to go and solve those problems. Go and make a difference. Go create something and make a difference in the world.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Give us some of the shout out to the links. If someone here is a Christian entrepreneur and they want to get tied into what Fruition is doing, they want resources, where do they go?
Yeah, if you have an idea that you want to make a reality, go to fruitionlab.org. And you could either submit a pitch, you can join a team.
That's right. You're doing like
We're doing a pitch competition.
It's like a Christian Shark Tank type thing, right?
Shark Tank, but better.
All right.
So yeah, you can submit your pitch if you have an idea. It doesn't matter how crazy it is or where you're at in the process. Submit a pitch on there, or maybe you just want to join a team of people that are starting something. You can join a team, submit your stuff on there. We have investors that are looking for opportunities to help people make an impact.
So that was fruitionlab.org. And then for your personal stuff, plug your Instagram. Your wife is an amazing CrossFit athlete, doing amazing things.
She is, yeah. Just check me out on Facebook. Hit me up on Instagram. Would love to keep in touch with you. And if you have an idea that you're wrestling with, hit me up. I'd love to walk you through the process. That's what I'm excited about. That's what I believe my purpose is on this world, to help you make great ideas a reality, and in turn, change the world.
Boom! There you go. That's it. That's it. We nailed it.
Hey.
All right, cool. Well, hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us again. And as I like to say, until next time, I'm That Christian Vlogger, and I want to encourage you to experience faith in the first person.